Hello everybody. Today I am here with the A Radiant New Groove Kuzco event. I know there's a story attached to it, so let's see. Hey there, Emperor Kuzco here. You might be wondering what wild adventure brought me to Port Royal. Involves a mean cat, dark magic, awesome tunes, and my signature groove. Mostly that last thing. Here, let me show you how it all went down. Scar. Ah yes, the power of the fracture mirror has exceeded my expectations. Covering this territory in a veil of darkness has proven to be an effortless endeavor. And no one rules the darkness like, oh hey, sorry to butt in on your monologue. Is this where the royal party's going down? If by royal party you mean fractured attacking you, then yes. That render of Scar is pretty cool. So we're definitely going to bring in Kuzco and Peter Pan because I have both of them. Peter Pan is obviously stronger. And then we should probably bring in like Mickey, huh? Well, we already have a healer. Maybe we do a tank. Let's see how that goes. So, it's cool that we can bring in both of them at the same time here. We got Kuzco doing his little groove. It doesn't seem like Peter Pan's going to be part of this. I think it might just be Scar, and Kuzco, and that's it. So, still like these characters both quite a bit. But if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't actually care about the original characters all that much. Like Kuzco is fun in his original movie. I just don't get excited when I see like Kuzco is getting added to something. And the same can be said for Peter Pan. I've never been a big fan of Peter Pan. Seeing he's going to be added it's somewhat surprising that, you know, he hadn't shown up earlier, honestly. So, I am much more excited for the characters that are coming out after this, which I'm assuming this is going to go up on Tuesday, probably. Which in that case, yesterday's video was on the new character. Oh, 1 second. Oh, that's a wrap. The fracture don't stand a chance against me and my dance moves. Hey, but what's with all this darkness? I mean, it goes away when I let loose my groove. But who's causing it? Yo, Scar, do you know? I do. It's all part of a side project of mine. Side project? But aren't you a guardian? I'm whatever it's advantageous for me to be. That's kind of messed up. It seems like all the villains kind of are like that, though. They're like, yeah, I'll be a guardian, but as soon as I get a hold of that fractured mirror, we're through. But the new characters, Sally and Frozone, are pretty cool additions, I would say, and both characters I'm much more excited to see. I'm a little worried about what they're going to do with Frozone's character, but I know they did a great job with Sally. Both are characters that are somewhat similar to how I feel about Kuzco and Peter Pan. It's like when I see that getting added, I'm just like, oh, okay. Especially like Sally, which is so cool that they've made her interesting enough for me to be excited about it. But I am pretty excited to try out both of them, and I really just want to see their designs specifically. I think they're going to have really cool designs. At least Sally, I guess. Again, I'm a little worried about... Jesus. I'm a little worried about Frozone. Can you believe that? Scar had a side project to take over Port Royal. Villains, am I right? Never trust them. Fortunately for everyone, there is a new groove in town. Scar, my dude, wait up. Is this how you welcome a fellow guardian? My allegiances are as fluid as the darkness that surrounds you. Fine, I get it. You're poetic. Now could you stop doing whatever you're doing? I'm afraid you're far too late, Kuzco. This territory belongs to me now. And you're too busy dealing with the fracture to save it. I think we got this probably. Maybe after this one I'll switch over to playing as Peter Pan for a little bit. But Kuzco is the main character, of course. I'm also playing this event a little bit later than I typically would. Basically, this event came out when my main channel was hacked, and I did not feel like making any videos on it. But thankfully you can kind of just skip past normal mode if you want, which is fine. I never replay the normal mode stuff. I always just go to the hard mode and expert mode, so it wasn't a big deal at all. This video just comes out a little bit later, and hey, we get to talk about the new Guardians that are coming up pretty quick here. Actually, probably this week as well. Actually, hopefully not on the day that I was planning on uploading this. Because I know the patch notes go up on Monday. But I don't think usually the patch notes are the same date as the day the update comes out, right? So hopefully it's like Thursday. Or even, it might even be Wednesday. But yeah, the plan would be to upload the video on the patch notes on Monday, and then upload this on Tuesday, and then hopefully the update will come out on Wednesday or Thursday. But it's always so, like, it's so awesome right now that this game has come out somewhat recently, and we're genuinely getting 2 characters every single month. When the other games I played, Disney Sources Arena and Disney Heroes, you rarely even get to see any new characters at this point. Disney Heroes at least keeps up 1 a month. But man, Disney Sorcerer's Arena, like, what is happening with that game? We are getting no characters. And Scar's gone again. The darkness is spreading faster than my groove can cleanse it. I gotta find a way to supercharge my reach. Harkin, hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here. Did I hear that someone's looking to spread some positivity? Now, Kermit, I'm trying to think of a way to get more positive. Hang on. Good grief. Okay, I guess Kermit's here. That's awesome. Okay, let's switch over to Peter. It's weird calling him just Peter. No one ever just calls him that. It has to be Peter Pan. Alright, so Peter Pan is definitely more up close. I gotta get up to these guys. I also like the theming that they did with this update with like the Blood Moon stuff. I thought that looked really cool. Doesn't really fit with like the characters at all. I feel like it would fit more with like a villain that they add them with, but still the Blood Moon look is really cool. And I think that's another thing that I've maybe been neglecting, is like they've almost like every update they've edited the environment in some way. Like we get the winter update sometimes, and I remember they had like the firework festival. And now we have like the Blood Moon one, so I think that's something really cool as well that you don't see all that often. And it really just makes the game have a different feel constantly, and it's really cool. They really are doing an amazing job with this game, I gotta say. Never been that big of a fan of the gameplay, but like, for what they've done with this gameplay, I think they've done a really great job. Like I don't hate it as much as I should. Like I don't know. They've just done such a good job with everything. And the characters are so cool, of course. They're so cool. And we get them consistently, which is amazing. Yes, you heard that right. A frog, specifically Kermit the Frog, showed up to help. Now don't get confused. The story's still about me and how I saved the day. So anyway, I came up with this plan to excuse me, Kuzco, I'm not sure that's exactly how it happened. Kermit, stop crashing my narration. Sorry, I just thought you'd want to tell the folks what actually happened. Fine, Kermit suggested we combine our powers in an epic concert right after we used your groove and my banjo to deal with another group of fractured. I would bring in Kermit too, but he's also a, well, maybe I should, but he's also a support character. I don't really like having 2 supports. But we're on normal mode. We're obviously going to win no matter who we bring in. It has been a while since we brought in Kermit, and we'll probably never do it ever again. I like the idea of doing teams in this game. I just never know what the best way to do them is, or like how to go about it. I guess I could just do like the hard mode of levels sometimes. I really can't bring them into the newest levels because those are way too difficult for most of the like basic characters. But yeah, I'd love to do like a Nightmare Before Christmas team, honestly. I use Oogie quite a bit, and I know Jack at one point at least was pretty good. Sally looks to be pretty cool, but I could also do an Incredibles one with Frozone now, and that's cool. And we could even do a Peter Pan one. So yeah, there's a bunch of different teams we could do. I already did a Princess one, and I did a Mickey Mouse one, and I think that's all that I did. And honestly, at the time, that might have been about all there was to it. The traits also lend to that idea as well. There are a bunch of different traits that you can have like teams for, but there are so many characters with each of the traits, it'd be hard to narrow it down to 3, I think. But I guess that's another thing about the teams, is when you say team, it's literally just 3 characters. It makes a bit more sense when you gotta choose like 5 in the other games. But in this one, it's a little bit less of a team, honestly. But I think they've been doing a good job of like making characters within the same series have different roles. Like almost every one I can think of they all have completely different roles, which is really cool. And I think that really lends to the idea of bringing them all in on one team, and maybe even sometimes making sure that they work together well, which I have no clue if they're doing that with intention, but I guess it's kind of the whole point of showcasing teams, huh? So yeah, maybe I should do that, I don't know. I make a pretty good amount of Mirrorverse videos as it is, so I don't know how much sense that would make. But, let's see, I think we're pretty close to being done here. 2 more. Oh yeah, now that's what I call groove. It did go pretty well, didn't it? Guess there's nothing we can't accomplish with the help of our friends, right, Kuzco? Right, our friends. Whatever, hey, is that a fractured over there? I also like that Kuzco is seemingly pretty self-centered still. Like it's almost like before he ever became a llama, and he's a bit more egotistical than after the movie. But I suppose like they kind of did that with the TV show that they made. He kind of went back to that style. So Kuzco kind of just ends up always being egotistical, even though the movie's supposed to kind of say that he learns from his mistake. But I suppose in all these sorts of source materials, they definitely lean more to him being a good guy than just being a jerk all the time. It's kind of a middle ground. We got Ursula here. I know that Scar is going to be the final boss. Which it is also interesting that they made like Scar the final boss of this. I suppose Yzma is not in the game. Ursula's pretty close to Yzma, honestly. They're both purple. And female. And evil, but maybe honestly that's why they brought her in as this villain. Makes sense to me. But Scar, I don't know. Maybe they just felt like Scar's a bit underused. There's also like another event that I ended up even participating in, but it had a bunch of like villains, and they all were in like the Blood Moon background, and they all looked really evil. It reminded me of like the Smash Bros. Ultimate trailer, like for the adventure mode, when all the characters have like red eyes. And that looked awesome. I ended up playing it, I don't think. Unless it was the one that was like timed, but I think that was something else. I don't actually know what the event was, but the branding for it was cool. Made me want to play it, honestly. I just didn't get around to it. Unless it's still here, I guess I could look after we finish this. And maybe I'll switch back to Kuzco for the last fight too. Yeah, we've almost leveled up Baymax just by playing as him as much as I do. That's kind of crazy. Alright. Despite the numbers being in my favor, my army continues to fall to these fools. It seems this may have been a costly miscalculation. Hey Scar, I'm just gonna slip in here with another flashback. It'll just take a sec. If it gets rid of you, fine. This looks like it'd be a great spot to perform, very acoustically sound. I'm gonna give this town an epic performance. I mean, we will. Sorry, still getting used to that. So, let's switch back to Kuzco. Finish it out here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed me doing this event. I know it's a bit later. I definitely understand that it's probably not going to get as many views as it typically would, just because I'm not really uploading this anytime soon after the event started, but I've kind of just been doing these events every time they make them, so I figured I probably should just do this one too. Even though it's a bit later than usual. But yeah, maybe the idea would be to stop making videos in the events and maybe switch over to teams and see if people are more interested in that. I don't know how many team possibilities there are. I only know of a couple that I really want to do, but it could certainly be interesting to try. Or just keep going with these. Like I don't want to do a crazy amount of Mirrorverse videos. There's already plenty of content I feel like on it currently, so I don't want to flood the channel with them. But if you have any opinions on that, you could certainly let me know. But I suppose doing these events are kind of a good way to check back in on the characters and where they're at, and like seeing me play as them together potentially if I've unlocked them both, which I'm thinking most likely by the second event I will have. And also seeing the potential dialogue and stuff. That's kind of the main idea of why I like to do it, is because if you miss this event, then you could check out the video and see what the unique dialogue options were, since Kuzco probably isn't showing up in the main story all too often, and this event might not come back for a while, you know. So that's kind of why I like doing these sorts of things, just kind of documenting the history for anybody who's like, oh man, I missed that event. I would be curious to see what happened during it, or who the fights were against and stuff like that. So I hope you appreciate that part at least. Which makes me not want to quit necessarily doing these event showcases. But again, let me know if you'd wholly prefer me to just do the teams instead. I could definitely do that. And maybe just here and there I would sprinkle in teams instead of doing them regularly, so that way it doesn't feel like I'm flooding the Mirrorverse content too much. But this is pretty close to being over. And then I'm guessing there's probably going to be some dialogue at the end, so I'll read that too, and then I'll thank you guys. And they just keep spawning in more guys. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should switch over to someone else who can deal more damage. There we go. Jeez. That was really annoying. Okay. Well, we've done it. Let's see what Kermit and Kuzco have to say. Maybe Scar's upset. My fracture defeated. The mirror vanished. Grr, this is not what I expected. Or I planned. Was that, Scar? Can hear the sound of your complete and total defeat. Yay, Kuzco, what a performance. We make a great double act. You know, we do. Hey, I might even try this team thing again sometime. See, yeah, that pretty much tells you how I single-handedly saved the day. Impressive, right? You know, Kuzco, I was watching you the whole time. You really didn't have to tell me all that. I know, I just like to hear it. Want me to tell it again? That's pretty funny. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.